And I liked walking out there to see if I could see anything spooky. But then up on the hill, I just saw this red light. And it's a mountain. Like there's nothing up there. It's just a mountain. And there's not like a road or anything. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I swear it was like it was suddenly in front of me. And I was just, nope. And I turned around and I ran so fast.
There is nothing wrong with your podcast streaming service. We now control your device. This is not a test. This is Podcast of the Paranormal. Close your curtains and stay away from your windows. Lock your doors, turn off your lights. Get your snacks and drinks ready. Get to your basement or attic. The podcast is about to begin. Hello, everyone. It is Gabrielle.
And I'm Jody.
And we are here with another episode of Podcast of the Paranormal. Today with us, we have Dallas Jade Graves, or DJ, and they are the project lead for Wallace Paranormal Festival. So we're going to be hearing a little bit about that and some things that they have going on in their area. So, DJ, if you want to start off by telling us about what people could expect from the festival.
Sure. So this is what we are calling our debut spectacle of the Wallace Paranormal Festival. It is the very first one to be formed. It's happening in Wallace, Idaho, a little tiny post-boomtown community in the Silver Valley of northern Idaho. It's a multi-venue curated festival that exists under the Wallace Paranormal Festival umbrella. So we have multiple different programs at multiple different local businesses, and it's a way to encourage people to come explore the history of Wallace and the historical architecture, get in some businesses as we are a seasonal tourist town, and then also at the same time a celebration of all things paranormal, including ghosts, Bigfoots, aliens, and anything unexplained.
Oh, wow. So you do incorporate the history of the area with the tours and with the events.
Yeah.
We love that. I mean, I see a lot of groups doing that. You know, it's good for the history buffs, but it's kind of good for the people that are going out there for the first time, trying to get to know the area. You know what I mean? Get to know what's going on and, you know.
Yeah, so the thing with Wallace, the history of it's pretty crazy. In the 60s and 70s, somewhere around there, when they were trying to put in Interstate 90, the town was like, hell no, because it was going to knock down a lot of the historical buildings because the freeway would need to go through town. So they held it up, I believe it was for 17 years in court, as they slowly but surely put every single building on the National Historic Registry. So now the entire town is on the National Historic Registry, and that's why it's so iconic, because it's unheard of to make such a monumental move like that. So that's why really any event that Wallace hosts, especially something like the paranormal where haunted and history kind of go hand in hand, it's so important to highlight the historical nature of these buildings, of the town, and of the culture.
Well, sure, they go hand in hand, right? We're from Northeast Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be honest with you, we know nothing about the town. So if you were going to talk about your town from a visitor standpoint, how would you explain it? Like, what's there? What's going on?
So Wallace is one of the few towns in the Silver Valley. The Silver Valley is a valley through the mountains in Shoshone County. It was a huge mining boom town, struck gold mid-1860s, I believe, somewhere around there. Crazy mining history. I mean, at one point, I think there was about 300 mines out here. Again, these numbers are estimates. I know they're pretty close, but there's just so much rich history out here. And because things have been so preserved and there's that culture of this preservation, there's so much information. It's a lot to take in. I'm constantly learning, even though I've been learning for years. But definitely a lot of mining culture. A few mines are still active, and then there are some that are inactive that you can go on tours of. Wallace was also known as Little Vegas at one point. There was a lot of underground gambling. There were actually underground tunnels. People think that they're for prohibition, but they were actually for underground gambling. Bordellos, prostitution was legal here until about the 90s. And then there was like some big FBI raids for the gambling and the prostitution. But there were bordellos all across town. There was a whole block dedicated to them at one point. Definitely just kind of like a lawless culture. The joke is lawless Wallace. And that rich history is embedded into everything that the town does. Like, it's something definitely to be proud of because we have access to so much of that information and we can share these stories. And some of the families that are still around, their ancestors were there when it was first founded in 1884, and they're still kicking and carrying on the legacy and sharing that culture with everybody.
I'm looking at Gabrielle here across the table, and we're laughing because it sounds a lot like Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we have a really rich history of coal mining here. Scranton also had a pretty healthy red light district at one time. So
Yeah, I'm not sure that Wallace or even the county has expanded quite to the size of Scranton, but yeah, definitely. And it's something that folks are really proud of, like to be able to be like, I'm in this building where, this crazy thing happened, this bordello, this murder, this silver baron lived. Like, there's a lot of access there. Like, we're right there. You're constantly touching history. It's not something that's just like in a museum, like to look at through glass. It's living and being made every moment that you're there.
that's my favorite part too about investigating the paranormal is you're getting to like walk in these historic locations and you're like standing in places where history was made. And it's just so interesting to me. I just love it. I love being able to like wander these historic places at night in the dark when people aren't usually there. And it's like this special little tour I get that other people don't get.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the crazy thing about the Paranormal Festival is like, as I'm going out, handing out flyers to all the local businesses and things, they're like immediately, oh, do you want to hear about our ghosts? Do you want to meet our ghosts? Like, it's just inherently ingrained in the culture. So I feel like it's such a perfect fit to do it in Wallace. At one point we had brainstormed like a Silver Valley Paranormal Festival, but we were like, it's gotta be Wallace.
Yeah, that is so cool. I can't believe like all the buildings are on the historic registry. That is just so cool.
Yeah, I feel like we have very bad record keeping here in Scranton.
No,
So-
not too bad.
I shouldn't speak for you anyway. Gabrielle's part of the Lackawanna County historical group here, local historical
awesome.
group. So she'd know better than me.
Yeah, I volunteer and help with tours and local events.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, we've gotten lucky. So I also work at, it was known as the Barnard-Stockbridge Photo Museum. It's now just the Historical Wallace Photo Museum as we work to expand. But we have access to a collection of photos that contains over 200,000 original glass negatives starting back in 1893. And it's considered one of the best collections in the United States. And to have a collection that massive for a town whose current population is less than 1,000, like, the information we have available is just mind-boggling. And I think that's something that's really special about Wallace. And locals and, newcomers alike are so stoked to share all of that.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything like that. I can't. Newspapers, right? Newspapers are huge. That's how most of our historical records are. But I don't have access to the archives, the photo archives or anything like that. So I wouldn't know what they have.
And it's so unique. It's almost like people never took the history out of Wallace. Like they just left it in their homes or,
Yeah.
in their businesses. And it's just all there waiting for people to find it.
What's funny because a lot of those photo negatives, they're collected from people's homes, right? Like when the houses are being destroyed and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, generally, I'm not speaking for Wallace. I'm speaking for what I know. These are old collections that people find in homes that are about to be destroyed, demolished, whatever. Or in a basement of a historical building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like a lot of photos are kind of, it's like you can get a collection over time as you kind of find pieces that'll fit together. But that collection specifically that was all kept together from the studio from the 1890s, it's like, what? How? It's super remarkable. And I think that's part of the huge charm of Wallace is just like these amazing serendipitous amounts of history that are just there to access. It's pretty cool. That's why I moved out here, honestly.
Yeah, what's it like out there? Like, if you had to describe it, if you look out a window, what do you see out there? Is it flat or are there mountains or?
Oh, giant mountains everywhere. So
Yeah.
we are in a valley, and everywhere you turn are giant mountains through the whole county. And we're surrounded by two mountain passes, one that goes into Coeur d'Alene and then Washington, and then one that goes into Montana.
That sounds beautiful.
It's super pretty.
We have big hills.
Yeah.
They're mountains. They look like hills. They're rounded, you know what I mean? It's not like,
Hills are good. Hills are nice. Do
Yeah.
they have trees?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pennsylvania has a lot of trees. People move to Pennsylvania for the trees.
Yeah, I have not been to the East Coast, unfortunately. I had a coworker from Pennsylvania, and she just raved about it, and I've always meant to pay a visit.
Yeah, most people that live here love it. There's a lot of people that hate it too, but
Yeah.
That goes for anywhere, I think.
yeah, there's a lot of trees in Pennsylvania, a lot of nothing. Middle of the state.
Yeah.
Interstate 80.
Yeah, there's a lot of nothing out here too, just forest that goes on and on and on. It's pretty crazy.
Do you have any local urban legends in Wallace?
Ooh, yeah, a lot. Yeah, at the historic Jameson Hotel, which we're having a couple ghost hunts at, there's a story of Maggie, and now the stories on that kind of vary, but the most generally accepted one is that she continues to haunt the hotel because she had a room there and she was waiting for her lover to return on the train from St. Louis, I believe, and he never showed up, and so now she's stuck there waiting infinitely. I believe another one was that she was supposed to take the train, but she got sick and died, and so now she is stuck there forever waiting for the train. Someone did go through at some point and find a historical record of a Maggie that had checked in there, but the truth is yet to be fully revealed. But Maggie is definitely the most infamous ghost out here in Wallace.
That's interesting. I love how most of the urban legends too have like multiple stories that are behind them. Like there's not like a set story. It's she did this or she did that.
They're playing a game of telephone over the years, right?
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah,
changes.
for 100 years.
Yeah. Do you have local cryptids?
There's definitely some big Sasquatch fans out here. But as far as like New Jersey Devil and things like that, we don't have anything special. PNW, Pacific Northwest, is definitely Squatch territory for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys have the Wampus cat?
No, what is that?
It's like supposed to be a big, giant, like cat cryptid.
Oh, I am going to plug that into my phone before I forget. But no, I haven't.
He's one of my favorites because it's a cat.
Because it's a cat. Of
Wow,
course.
that looks really scary.
Right?
That looks terrifying. I mean, maybe we have hella mountain lions out here. So, and I've heard some weird things out in the woods. I'll say that much.
Oh, yeah.
You have any stories? We'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a night that I was out at our old apartment. I was walking my dog, and you go down this road that's like a dead end, and then it goes to a forest road to old abandoned mining property, which is abundant out here. And then at the top of that hill was the cemetery. And I liked walking out there to see if I could see anything spooky. But then up on the hill, I just saw this red light. And it's a mountain. Like there's nothing up there. It's just a mountain. And there's not like a road or anything. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I swear it was suddenly in front of me. And I was just, nope. And I turned around and I ran so fast. Part of me wanted to think it was aliens because that seems like the most logical. I'm a big alien nerd.
So this thing had heft. This was like a large object.
It was like a bright red light. Like, so on the mountain, it looked like it would be at least as bright as maybe like a stoplight or brighter.
Mm-hmm.
But then suddenly it's at the bottom of the mountain. And I was like, oh, no.
So this thing was cooking, huh? This was going pretty fast, or was it just like suddenly teleported?
Yeah, it was just suddenly right there.
So how big would you say it was if you had a guess? The only reason I'm asking is because there's light phenomena that we've experienced.
Oh, okay. In front of me, the like light source itself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like look with my eyes where I'm standing right now. Probably like dinner plate sized, the light source, and I'd say it was maybe 50 yards in front of me.
Oh,
But no shape, just the light.
Just the light.
Yeah.
Just the light. It was a really bright red light, and I was like, mm-mm. And I ran back with my dog.
Did your dog react at all?
No, my dog never reacts to anything spooky, and it drives me crazy. She has no sense of danger whatsoever. She is too friendly.
Aww. What kind of dog?
She is a Border Collie Pit mix. Her name is Karma.
So cute.
Karma.
Yes, she's a very good girl, but she's belly up to everything. Even if Sasquatch was there, she'd be like, Pet me.
I would love to see that.
Right.
A Sasquatch pet a
That would be
dog.
pretty funny.
I'm sure there's a few AI videos out about that by now, but a little distasteful, I think.
I'm trying to think of some other spooky stuff that's happened out here. There's definitely been a number. So I've got some. I also housekeep at the Ryan Hotel.
Mhm.
It's a historic hotel in the middle of downtown Wallace. It was built in 1903. It used to be 3 stories with like boarding on top and then the nice hotel on the second floor. There was a fire in the 30s, and so the third floor is now gone. But besides that, it's been very well maintained historically. So I housekeep there, and the owner, Donna, she is a key sponsor and my emotional support comrade for the Paranormal Festival. She's been a huge help. And the place is highly haunted. I mean, there's no question about it. And she's hosted many ghost hunt events there with the local medium, Jennifer Von Barron, who is also going to be involved in the festival. And I've always been kind of skeptic. I've definitely had a lot of weird experiences, and that's why I love, paranormal content and talking about this stuff is kind of like that seeking for the truth. I lean more believer than non-believer, but I'm still always I got to question everything. But since I've started working there, the weirdest stuff happens. She gave me a tour of the basement, which is huge and extremely creepy. And at one point, I just like randomly got electrocuted up my arm, and she saw me and she was like, "What was that? What'd you feel? Like, what are you channeling?" And I was
Wow.
like, "I don't know. Like, that was really scary. Like, I don't know what just happened." And then another time I was cleaning a room and the door was closed. And this was when I had just started and I was still learning a couple things. So Donna would come in and check on me here and there. And I was on the floor cleaning something up. And in the mirror, like the body length mirror that was there, I saw Donna, and I went to turn around to, see what was up and take my headphones out, and she wasn't there, and the door was still closed.
Oh, boy.
And whoever this figure was in all black. And when I went and saw Donna, she was not wearing all black that day. And I was like, okay, so this place is definitely haunted.
So that's interesting. You said all black. Are you talking about the way that the entity was clothed, or was it just a shadow completely black?
No, it looked like it was like a petite woman, and it was just in all black clothes.
Okay.
I only saw, I'm guessing her. Maybe it wasn't a her. I just assumed it's a her because I thought it was Donna. But I only saw her for like 2 seconds and then turned my head and there wasn't anybody there.
So you couldn't see like the details of her face, what she looked like. It was just kind of out of the corner of the eye. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that was pretty spooky. And there's plenty of flickering lights and weird whispering that I've heard there. And I was trying to clean another room just a few days ago and the lights started flickering. So I ran out and asked my coworker, "Hey, have you seen the lights flickering?" And she says, "No." And I'm like, okay. So I go back in the room and I'm like, just chill. It's fine. And then the door slammed closed. And I'm like, okay, it must just been a breeze. No big deal. But then the door opened itself again and flung open. And if that door is closed, it should not have flung open. And I was like, okay, I'm leaving.
Oh my gosh.
So I stepped out for a minute and Donna's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I just need a second. This ghost is bullying me." And she's like, "I'm so sorry. They're giving you a hard time." I was like,
Oh.
thanks.
So it sounds like everybody's pretty much open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And part of me wonders if now that I'm like working in this space and this community where people are so open to it, like I have like unconsciously allowed myself to be more receptive to those experiences when they are there. And for that, I'm super grateful.
I think you're probably right about that, because that's the one thing that we say all the time. The longer that we do this stuff, the more experiences we have.
That makes sense.
And I tell you what, it gets freaking bonkers at some points to where you have to question it,
Yeah. And yourself sometimes.
And yourself.
Yeah. In reality.
Yeah.
I understand that for sure. And the biggest catalyst has seemed to be putting on the Wallace Paranormal Festival. Like just being around all of that, the experiences seem to grow exponentially. And not just at the Ryan, but in my general life. And it's pretty bizarre. It's pretty crazy, but I'm here for it.
You're adding all that energy to it. It's like filling a balloon.
That's a good metaphor.
Yeah, it's just got to keep filling and filling, filling. I don't want to say until it pops, right? Because I don't know if that'll be good or bad, but
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the ghosts just come out at once. Oops.
yeah.
It's like they know the festival's coming and they're getting ready.
Well, time of year too, you know what I mean? It's time of year. And
Yeah, the thinning of the veil.
it's on everybody's mind, you know?
But yeah, it's been good. And I hope that this can be maintained because it's definitely something I've always loved. My dad took me ghost hunting as a kid. You know, we'd go to like ghost towns and old Wild West towns, and he got a digital recorder for EVP. I was a kid. I mean, this was back in the 90s. And so I grew up with this, but I was still always kind of like, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know if embarrassed is the right word, but if that makes sense, just kind of like I never really found my crew or my tribe, you know, even though it was something I loved. And luckily I'm married to someone who's really open-minded and has tons of fun with me in that regard. But doing this now, I'm just like, this is it. I'm in. I'm in, and it's just going to keep going, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, Gabrielle kind of got me into this too. I mean, I was always interested in it, right? I would always watch the TV shows because I loved aliens and Bigfoot and all that stuff, but she really got me into the ghost hunting stuff right around COVID.
Nice. That's a good time.
Oh, yeah. She just finished her master's degree and she needed to take care of herself a little bit after that.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is what we do as a hobby and for, you know, just downtime.
Self-care.
Yeah, self-care is a good word for it. I've definitely been trying to implement more paranormal experiences as an act of self-care rather than just a hobby, right? Because, like, these are really meaningful experiences, and, like, I don't know, it feels so healing, not just like a hobby. I'm not just like out. Of course, I'm not having fun, but there is something truly healing about it.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying in a weird way.
I can definitely agree with that.
I mean, it's like anything else, though, right? If you enjoy what you're doing,
yeah,
you know, it's gonna.
It feels that way.
It's gonna love you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me a little bit about your ghost hunting experiences with your dad. I want to hear that because I love these stories when like parents are like, they're the cool parent, right?
Yeah.
They kind of open up a little bit and they're like, hey, maybe there's something else out there, and I want my kid to be curious, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up watching like all the old like pre-Ghost Adventures shows, or maybe like right when Ghost Adventures started taking off. But I was just like, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like, this is way too cool. And my parents would always tell me ghost stories about our house being haunted and stuff like that. I was obsessed with David Blaine. Oh my God. Like, I was like a god in my eyes when I'm 7, 8 years old. And my parents would take me to magic shows and all this stuff. Just this otherworldly nature of everything. I was obsessed from a very young age. And my mom has always been really into travel and history and things like that. And we're a middle-class family, so we're not like traveling the globe, but, you know, we'd get in our 94 Ford Explorer and drive to a little ghost town out in Montana and South Dakota and all these places. And it just kind of became, you know, like a family ritual doing all, we called it ghost towning. My dad knew I was super into all these ghostly things, and I think he's open-minded, but my dad's a really like quiet, reserved type of person. He's definitely like a love through actions type of person, and he'll never admit fear or anything like that. But he got a digital recorder at one point, and I swear he was on these online websites shopping for a digital recorder. Again, this is the 90s when online shopping was not as easy as it was now. And he's like researching and reading everything he can about all these different recorders. And he's like, well, we got to go digital. We can't go analog because I don't want to get like the wrong sound on there. Like, taking this very seriously. And I'm like, cool. Like, my dad's like, I am not going to be duped by my own equipment. Like, I'm here for it. I'm invested. And so he finally ended up getting one, but he would never admit, I think, that it was something for him too. He'd always be like, I'm just doing this because you like it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm like, whatever, Dad. But the first one that we did was and again, I was like 8 years old, so I don't fully remember everything, but it was in Deadwood, South Dakota, and we went to
Oh, wow.
Wild Bill Hickok's grave, and he was trying to catch some EVP. I don't remember if he did, but that was my first real experience, like using ghost hunting tools. And it was one of the best days of my life. I mean, it was so rad.
That's
And
so
then
cool.
on that trip, we're like driving down, I don't know, some middle of nowhere road in South Dakota to our next destination. My mom's asleep in the front seat. My grandma and aunt are on either side of me. I'm in the back middle seat. And we're driving, and suddenly there's this white figure in the road that's like human shaped. And my dad slams on his brakes, and we're just like, oh. And my grandma, aunt, and mom all wake up and they're like, what the heck? Like, that's not funny. How dare you? And me and my dad were like, no way. Like, we just saw a ghost. And they just brush us off like, whatever, of course, because we're all pranksters in my family. But me and my dad, to this day, we're like, nope. We know what we saw together. And that is like so special to me that I got to have like that super scary as a kid paranormal experience with my dad. It's just like one of my favorite memories, honestly.
Yeah, that's a wonderful story.
Yeah, I
You're
love
making
that.
memories. I mean, you remember it to this day. That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
It's funny, too, because I think you were saying some of your other family members aren't too open to it. I think you have to be open to the paranormal in order to experience it.
I think so too. Definitely.
My family's the same way. You know what I mean? I think my dad's a little more open to it, but my dad's more like the aliens are going to take over conspiracy kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
My mother, I don't know what she believes. I have no idea. She's a tough nut to crack.
That's fair.
I think it's interesting because we always thought we were so lucky growing up in this area because we have the history where America was like started in like on the East Coast. So we have all of that history around us. But then you're in that really cool area where you have like Wild West history. And that's so cool to me.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like my favorite piece of history. I have been obsessed with it my whole life. And I think there's something about it too, this rugged recklessness and like the unknowing of, coming out on the frontier and establishing these settlements and, this wildness, this lawlessness that existed in the establishment of the West that I think makes for a lot of really good paranormal activity.
Yeah.
And then they settled and planted potatoes, right?
Did they plant potatoes? I don't know. I
don't know.
Is it Idaho potatoes or right?
don't know. People say Idaho's potatoes, but I believe that it's actually Grant County, Washington that produces the most potatoes. So I don't know. I grew up out here and I feel ripped off.
Well, listen, it's fine, right? I don't know anything about your area, right? I see Idaho. I'm like, oh, Idaho potatoes, right?
Yeah, someone started that as like pro potato propaganda at some point. I don't know.
Well, out here, whenever someone brings up the name Scranton, you know what we got, don't you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
The Office.
Michael Scott.
Yep. Yep. That's not our history, though. We didn't have anything to do with paper companies out here. We're a mining town also.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
coal.
Do you guys have like any The Office culture stuff out there much that's been leaned into or no?
Oh, it's everywhere out here. Jeez. We have a restaurant called Cooper's that's literally maybe 10 minutes from us. And they open up a whole Office store.
Yeah.
And then we
Nice.
have not TGI Fridays, what's a Chili's.
They
that
opened
just
a Chili's out here.
We never had a Chili's here. The show, they always talk about going to Chili's. We never had one. They just got
No.
one. Literally just got one, and it's all Office themed.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
It is. I love hate talking on it, I think. I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and I
love
watched
to
the
hate
show,
it.
too. I watched the show. I watched up to the first, 4 or 5 seasons.
We got
but-
married at Niagara Falls, like Jim and Pam,
Yeah,
and
like-
we didn't even know.
You did? Oh my
We're just
God.
so Scranton.
It's just ingrained. It's in our souls.
Yeah, for sure. So have you guys been to the Chili's though?
We have not, no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
No.
there's some other places that were like featured on The Office. We have the bar, Poor Richard's Pub is like a real bar here. It's in a bowling alley. It's like a little tiny bar.
Oh, cool.
But it's popular. It's pretty popular.
Yeah, it is. Oh, and all the pizza joints that they mentioned.
Yeah,
in the show,
there's pizza
too.
places that were mentioned in the show that actually exist here.
Oh, crazy.
Alfredo's Pizza, not Pizza by Alfredo, right?
Not pizza.
And then we have the building that they show in the show. We have that building is actually here in Scranton.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing people totally like drive to that as like a tourist
They do.
destination.
Yeah, they do.
They do. So funny
Yeah.
story. There is like a building across the street from that paper building. And my daughter works there, and she said they had to actually put a fence up and like barriers to stop people from going in because they would go into the parking lot, get out of their cars, take pictures of the building and leave.
Oh my gosh. That's like what happened with the Breaking Bad house, and people kept throwing pizzas up on the poor lady's roof, and so she had to like barricade her
yeah.
house.
Yeah, I heard about
That's
that.
terrible.
I know. I'm laughing because it's funny, but
It
it's
is
not.
funny. It's funny because we don't live in the house and we didn't get pizzas thrown on our roof.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. Poor lady. Yeah. The most depressing story I could tell you about Office fans that visited the area. They went to the Steamtown Mall, which has a quote exhibit of the Welcome to Scranton sign for people to pose and take pictures with. And they expected this to be like this huge museum type event. It's literally just a photo op. So they came in from California. They're asking us, "Where is this sign?" I'm like, "It's right there." And they're like, "That's it." And yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, that is terrible. How disappointing. No.
Yeah.
But of course, Gabrielle jumped in and told them about Cooper's, and we didn't have the Chili's at that time.
Oh, you are a godsend. You are a good person, objectively good person. Thank you.
We have a cool mural here now. It's like an office themed mural.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. That's rad.
Yeah.
And just like that, this is an Office podcast.
Yeah, right.
Did you guys like grow up in Scranton? Like, are you from
Born
there?
and raised, yep.
Did you like see the change happen as like the office gained popularity? Was that something you like witnessed around you?
It didn't really do much for the city, if I'm being honest. There were a few businesses that, took advantage of it and sold T-shirts and stuff like that.
For sure. That makes sense.
Put little museums in their gift shops and stuff like that. But it didn't really do much for the area.
No.
Like it's not going to bring business here. Hollywood is never going to do that, right?
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Well, Wallace, have you guys seen the movie Dante's Peak, starring Pierce Brosnan?
Oh, a long time ago.
So that was filmed in Wallace, and so that's another big thing that folks lean into out here. There's Dante's Peak posters everywhere. There's a Dante's Peak room at the Ryan Hotel with Dante's Peak stuff everywhere and like a binder about everything. And they just like CGI'd the volcano into the giant mountains behind town. But yeah, and there's people out here that still live out here that were like, yeah, I remember when they were filling the streets with fake ash and blah, blah, blah. So it's pretty crazy. And people come out here knowing it's the Dante's Peak town. So that's fun.
We have that out here lately, actually. A few films have been filmed here on location. Like they use a local drive-in.
Oh.
And some of the historical buildings in the area, yeah. So we had the
Nice.
opportunity to be extras in a really awesome horror movie.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Wow, that sounds super fun.
Yeah, and that's what I do professionally. I actually work for the industry.
Oh my gosh, that's really rad.
Yeah, out in Scranton, PA, of all places.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
You say it sounds super fun, but like this whole time I'm like mentally planning a trip to Wallace. I'm like, that place sounds so cool.
You got to go see Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So for people who are coming to the festival, what type of events can they expect?
Oh my goodness. We have a featured tarot reader throughout the weekend. We've got a few ghost hunts, but I wasn't exactly prepared for the hype and the reach that we got. So those are now going out via a lottery drawing because they are limited. We only have so much space out in little old Wallace. So a few ghost hunts and then several paranormal lectures ranging from ghost hunting tips, paranormal investigating experiences, ghost hunt equipment demos, shufflemancy, which is the art of divination through shuffling playlists, paranormal documentary. We've got some live music from a regional musician, very like artsy, ethereal, spooky vibes. It's going to be a lot of fun, cool lighting, fog machine, definitely like an immersive experience for the music. Gosh, there's so much. Some funeral lectures from our local funeral director. Great guy. Love working with him. Some spooky open mics ranging from, something maybe more like poetry or a eulogy you never got to give to like a late night ghost story open mic. So much more. So much more. And then, of course, drink specials, food specials, we'll have vendors, things like that. And just this collective enthusiasm of getting people walking around and exploring the historic architecture and talking about ghosts.
That sounds so awesome. I wish you were closer.
Yeah, we don't have too much of that out here.
Well, this is the first of its kind. So
Yeah.
I am hoping it goes well. I think it's going to go pretty well. And then we are already working on plans for next year. So if you guys want to mark it on your calendars, I think there's a train. It comes pretty close to here.
We could take a train.
Yeah, it is our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Oh, boy.
So we do have an excuse.
That's a really good excuse.
Yeah.
That's a really good excuse.
Yeah.
We like visiting old towns. We like the vibe of like these old historic towns that have been refurbished. No, that's not it.
Almost like they've been like rediscovered.
Yeah, rediscovered, but revitalized, I guess. You know what I mean? They've been brought back to new life.
Yeah.
You have libraries popping up everywhere, bookstores,
It's pretty cool.
kitchen stores. That's what I'm picturing when you're explaining this. It's like a kind of like that small town vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're spot on. So where the open mic is happening and the funeral lecture is happening is at a newer local business called the Tin Snug. It's an Irish themed cafe and record store. Amazing business, amazing owners, love them. But the funeral lecture is happening there because it used to be the old mortuary. So it's totally fitting. It has to happen there. And you can still see some of the remnants of the embalming room, including the old flooring and the drain that they used.
So it's more like a historical tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that really is the first of its kind. I've never heard anything like that being done. Honestly.
Yeah. It's little bits of history like that are like in every building that are just there. There's a place called City Limits Pub just on the backside of town, and they've just got an old, mining elevator chilling in the middle of the restaurant. It's giant. It's there. It's the centerpiece.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Is it
that's
still functional?
amazing.
I don't know. It looks like it is. I'm guessing so. But yeah, I don't know.
It'd be amazing.
But it's
like
old.
a giant dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
That would be rad. And the building sits over the creek. It's just crazy.
Oh, neat.
Oh, wow.
You should definitely do a paranormal investigation there.
Yeah. Water and mine.
Water, the mine, old building.
And when you come out here too, so there's Wallace, but there's still the whole Silver Valley. So about 8 miles back through another canyon is an old town called Burke. You pass through a few, I guess you could call them municipalities. They're mostly 10 old houses each, but there's 7 or 8 of them. But there's a sign for every one, Yellow Dog and Jim and Frisco and all these other ones. And then you get to the back of that canyon and there's a town called Burke. And then Burke used to be way more poppin' than Wallace was. There's a huge mine there, a giant hotel. There's 2 railroad lines, a road, and the creek that ran through this canyon with houses and businesses on the side. It's just cramped. When you look at historical pictures, it's mind-boggling. But then when I-90 came in, Burke started slowly dying out as people shifted closer to the freeway. So that's a huge benefit of where Wallace is because it's close to the freeway. We get a lot of that traffic from the interstate. People making a trip from Montana to Washington and vice versa. They get to stop in Wallace and see everything really rad. But there's Burke, and then 15-20 minutes west of Wallace is another town called Kellogg. There's a ski resort there now, so it didn't survive as much historically as Wallace did, but uptown still has a lot of historical buildings that are really cool and some spooky abandoned stuff. And then at the back of Wallace is a mine called Bunker Hill. It was the culmination of some labor strikes and union wars that included lots of dynamite and dead people. And then throughout is a few more towns, and then up the mountain is a town called Murray with a couple towns around that. That was another mining town, and there's historical buildings out there too, including a pioneer cabin from 1860.
Wow.
So there's Wallace, which is rad in its own right and has its own culture, but truly this whole county is just one giant historical legacy. It's crazy.
Forgive me if I missed it. Was it precious metal?
It was silver.
Silver, okay.
Silver, yep. And they're actually still mining silver.
Still mining silver. Wow.
Yep.
Now, here's a question. Are your mines underground?
Yes, one of them is still active and they are over a mile underground.
So do you have any, I know we had situations like this in our area. Do you have any instances where people were like in the basements of their homes, making holes going into the mines, taking silver?
Oh gosh, not that I've heard of. I think that the opportunity was just so abundant out here when stuff first started happening that people were just trying to stake claims. I mean, it was a huge boom out here when people were trying to stake claims. People murdered over that stuff, you know.
Wow.
And I believe you have to go pretty deep for silver, and it's actually not silver until it's refined. It's kind of this nasty black color. So without a keen eye, you know, digging through your basement probably wouldn't be the best bet, as opposed to somewhere where you might have like better access to something that's easily recognizable. You know what I mean?
Like coal.
Yeah, for sure. Or oil, yeah.
We had people that would go down in, Jesus, I think up into the 50s.
Whoa.
Yeah, they'd go down in their basement. They'd go in a hole in their basement or dig a hole in their basement.
Yeah.
And they would chip away at the columns for free coal.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Not a great idea. Because when those columns collapse, then your house is going in with it. So, like, we had a lot of homes in Scranton that went into the mines. We actually have a school, or had a school, a block up from us.
Yeah, that fell in.
Because people were doing that.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. No, I haven't heard of anything like that out here.
I mean, knock on wood, we live right on top of a mine, and we haven't had any problems yet, but
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm knocking on wood for you. That's really scary.
I think that was on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's gold panning, you know, people still pan for gold out here. You're not gonna make a fortune, but you can get some little flakes and little clumps of gold and stuff, and
You
it's
gotta
fun.
get a
And
lot of it, huh? If you
That's cool.
if
Yeah.
you want to make money off it, yeah.
yeah, you have to get like a buttload of gold flakes to make any money. But it's still fun, especially when you go with kids and stuff, and they're like, "Oh man, I felt so gold." Yeah, you sure did, little
Yeah.
Joey. But yeah, that's definitely still active out here. I think that it's just everywhere at this point. And also silver is like, it's not like an established mine that's been out here for decades or even a century. Like, yeah, it's really worth it for them to keep digging for silver and other resources. But just some guy getting silver, like if you don't have the capital to
Mhm.
refine it and keep going, there's no point in even having like a little bit of silver, because it's not worth much unless you have a lot and can refine it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else, right? You're not going to make money if you don't have money. So those
Yep.
are the people that are
Yeah,
making it.
amen.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thanks for coming on and talking to us today. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was awesome.
So when is your paranormal festival?
It is October 17th, 18th, and 19th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this year, 2025.
Awesome. Where can people find tickets?
WallaceParanormal.com under the tickets tab, and that's just for the ticketed events. Otherwise, all the fun is going to be freely flowing and highly accessible.
That's awesome. It sounds like a great weekend's planned.
Indeed. I'm very excited for it and super nervous.
Yeah, definitely.
no, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
especially
amazing.
if you don't mind me asking before we get going here, the paranormal investigations you're planning on having. Do you have any idea how those are going to be structured?
So we have 3 different teams, potentially 4. And so I think that they're all just going to be a little bit different. And that's kind of the beauty of the way that this festival is structured, is because Wallace Paranormal Fest is just this umbrella and it's a collective event. I'm really giving people a lot of creative reign, like creative freedom on how they want to do their programs. You know, whether that's something they're just doing at their business, whether it's the ghost hunter, you know, leading the investigation. So part of the fun is not knowing in like an unstructured way, but just in a way that people get the chance to do things exactly how they want. I know one team is going to bring some equipment to share with people to have them be more hands-on. One team, she is a psychic medium and she does a lot of channeled art and things like that. So that's definitely going to have like her own flavor on it. Another team is a larger team, and so they all have their different shrinks. So I think they're all just going to look really different in regards of how it pans out. My favorite thing is the Ghost Story open mic is going to be open after. So I'm hoping that people will come out and share their experiences over a couple drinks.
Oh, cool.
That is cool. I love that.
Having some spirits with the spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you again for coming on and talking to us.
Yeah. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Gabrielle.
We really appreciate DJ coming on the podcast to discuss the event with us. And we wish that we were closer to Idaho so that we could attend this year. It seems like it's going to be a great event.
It was really interesting talking about part of the country we know nothing about, you know?
Yeah, it was really interesting to hear about the history in the area. And
little local history of Wallace and
yeah, it seems like a really cool town.
some of the local folklore and ghost tales.
Yeah, we have to get there someday. We have to put it on our bucket list.
Really interested in the red light, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the red light that DJ saw. In fact, it inspired me to do a little artwork for this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amateur artwork. I'm not an artist.
You're so hard on yourself.
So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, we got some things coming up, huh?
We do. We're going to have a special Halloween episode the end of October.
Probably that week before Halloween itself, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're discussing the potential of maybe an episode either the 30th or the 31st to release just a special
Ooh, you're giving me a lot of work to do here.
Halloween Day episode.
That's a lot of editing.
I know, but I thought it would be cool. And then what else? Oh, we have Creature Feature coming up.
Oh, tell us a little about that.
Yeah, November 7th to the 9th.
And where's that at?
Creature Feature at the Hilton in Scranton, and tickets are on sale. It's creaturefeatureweekend.com. So we'll be there all 3 days. It's Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. They have vendors. They'll have special guests, celebrities. So definitely check them out. We'll be there. So, you know, if you want to come meet us at Creature Feature, record a live episode with us, tell us your stories. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we'll see how we do that.
Just stop by and say hi.
I'd like to get some stories there, right? That'd be pretty cool. Some quick little stories, you know?
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Little 5-10 minute interviews.
Yeah.
Maybe put them all together in a future episode. That'd be neat.
That would be really neat.
Yeah. I guess we could schedule too, right? We could schedule some people.
Yeah, we could do that. If you want to reach out and say, hey, I'm going to Creature Feature and I have a story.
What do we have there? Since we don't really have any wares, we're not really selling anything. We're just kind of renting out a booth to
we're not selling anything. We're just taking up space. We're going to just be there with some items that we have specific to the podcast, different stickers, magnets. We're just looking to talk to people, hear their stories.
Yeah, we're putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, let people know about the podcast.
Yep. So, Gabrielle.
Yes.
If people need to find us, where could they find us?
podcastoftheparanormal.com. You can find episodes for the podcast there, our contact form, you know, if you want to submit any stories or
just get in touch with us in general.
Yeah, any questions you have, any feedback, you want to see something on an episode, reach out. You want to be a guest on an episode, reach out. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love your feedback. Don't be shy.
And they could find our podcast through our links on the website.
Yep.
To all the, quote, podcatchers, or that's what they're called now?
I don't know what they're called. I just say wherever you listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
We're on all the popular sites right now.
Yep. YouTube and the socials.
Yeah. YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah. We're even on Pinterest. Thanks to Jody's daughter.
Yeah.
She got us into Pinterest. Well, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we're looking forward to some more things we have coming up for some episodes that we're working on.
And please remember to like, share, and provide feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.